Good morning. I got an interesting request earlier, and here it is. Pretty much it was to see Nightflyer, aka Fragile, against the controller agents. Now, because of the way that they're encountered in AC3, this is going to be a little bit of a different format. In terms of first, it will be Nightflyer, Coldheart in the sun over here, and Appleboy in the the Esperanza, all against this guy. In the order of Fragile, then Coldheart, and then it'll be Appleboy. See if they can beat this guy, and then after that, it will be actually Appleboy leading, followed by Fragile, followed by Coldheart to fight these two, particularly in the order of this guy, since he always attacks first, and then this guy, and then we'll just see which team would more likely than not win. Now, the reason for that, in the first encounter, the Nightflyer is actually 2 rooms away, so there's no way to actually get to him before he's at least at half health. It still ends up being a 3v1, but generally speaking, it's usually the order of him first, then they usually put the MT right next to him, and usually you're kind of closer to the back of the room firing. So that's the order for this first fight. This will just be in a standard elimination. First one to lose and moves on to the next one. And then when it comes to these two, which by the way, I excluded the one in the death hallway. It would have just been Appleboy versus them. I might do that at a later time, since he's more or less kind of the, I guess he's kind of the stand-in for the player in this case, since he's kind of there as your, I guess, doppelganger in some cases. But at any rate, usually the lightweight, it just kind of goes bum rushing the whole time. This guy just kind of bumbles around in the back corner, occasionally shooting out a grenade. And between all of them, I'd figure Appleboy would probably get there first. This guy would inevitably, going by AC rules, show up like 30 seconds to a minute later, and then this guy would slowly be walking up behind them. So, now all that explanation out of the way, as far as their builds in this go, since again, they can't all be identical as far as their cores go, they all use the same head and core, so they've been changed around a little bit to make up for that, since, once again, Formula Front does not allow duplicate parts in the same roster, and setting aside 4 different rosters for 4 different builds would have gotten confusing because of the weird save situation with this game. Anyway, so first guy, he actually has the fast blade that's been replaced with, or actually no, he has the second tier blade. It's been replaced with the Elf 2. His right arm's the same. His back grenade launcher has been replaced with the missiles to replicate the fact that, you know, he basically can fire it while walking. His pods are the same, and then his core got swapped out with this one because he actually keeps those things out the entire time and never seems to have any energy issues. So in this case, it's been replaced with a shell version to more or less replicate that. This guy is, again, pretty closely resembles it. I believe he actually does use the Ratchus head. Actually, is that even what it goes by in this one? No, it's the Spider. Earlier games, it's the Ratchus. Same head, anyway. So he actually gets the core because he uses shell weapons, and yeah, I believe I've actually seen him kneeling down to use those back cannons too, so I'm not sure why he's the dunce of the group. But he's kind of the heavy grenade guy. Never particularly useful, actually. And then this guy, the blade's correct, the rifle's correct, the pods are correct. He actually uses an ammo extender instead of the radar. His head is, again, that kind of forward-facing angry head. The one that later got remade as the Tarkus head. And then his core is the same as the other ones. In this case, he got the MG core because he's lightweight. He generally moves around, and his arms and legs are the same. So I thought this head looked more threatening. It seemed the most fitting. Like the rest of the shell had gotten blown away, and it was just the scary eye thing left. I mean, if you look at this head, maybe you can kind of see it as this guy being damaged or something. I don't know. It's just kind of what came to mind. The Nightflyer got altered slightly. The blade's the same, the gun's the same. He only has one of his pulse cannons. just because otherwise he's pretty much unable to move. The AI is not very good at managing energy. Even when you set all the way to the top, it basically sees it as use the last 1 to 3% repeatedly. So he basically was too drainy to be viable. So he's had one of them replaced with the radar, which also works out because it helps him actually track things and not randomly wind up staring at a corner wondering where everybody went. So this is his rebuild. I got the colors as close as I could. It's actually kind of funny because he's actually a dark green and a gray, and he always ends up looking black in AC3. And if you look really closely, it definitely sticks out more with his background. So over here is the sun. It got remade exactly, more or less exactly. Some internals had to be swapped around because, of course. And really, that's about it. So let's get this first fight going. Then Appleboy's in a different roster. He showed up in an earlier thing, but I'm not gonna go and reload the entire thing to go pull him up right now. Alright, so first things first, the Ruglin fight. Now, instead of a random, let's see if we have something to replicate that lab. I'm gonna say probably the open air arena. Alright. This is a little bit more open than it should be, but I don't really want to put them in the Mushroom Factory because that mess is too trippy to actually make out what the hell's going on. Starts off going with the rifle. As in 3, he's generally just going to switch between doing the whole crab walk and flying around with his rifle. He actually can put out a pretty decent amount of heat with that thing. But again, his frame does not really lend itself well to what he tries to do. The rifle does pretty alright, and he can actually put out some pretty decent damage with his blade because he uses a quad, but yeah, that pulse rifle or pulse cannon can definitely rip into a lot of things. He has a tendency to just kind of sit there. Okay. So there we go. Night Flyer dies to the first one. Alright, so then we'll assume this guy came in next. See how he does. Yeah, Fragile almost had it. It was just that one overheat that got him. And he's tuned pretty high for cooling right now. Alright. He's doing alright. Keeping up pretty well in that damage race. Nice. Okay. So Cold Art gets him. So the first one goes to the survivors. Right now, the second fight. Now this time leading in will be Appleboy, and I believe he's over here? One of these? 6 or 7? There we go. He's in Team 7. The save system is definitely not confusing. Alright, the little guy goes in first. Need something a little more open to simulate that one. Sizable arena, that sounds about right. I'd like to see some pillars there, but what can you do? Also, this is a pretty close range arena. I don't know about sizable. You lied to me, game. It is this one. Oof. We got Napon right off the bat, and I think he can easily out DPS this guy. Does seem to be having a bit of an FCS error, though. Well, actually, no, he might be a little bit screwed. So now, I don't really know where it was from, because I've just been looking around in different articles there to figure out if they had any inside parts. But one place said that the lightweight had napalm rockets, and another one said that they didn't. So I just kind of popped them in there for the sake of making them scary. This seems to have been a little bit extra effective. Alright. So he wasn't able to pull it off. That doesn't bode well for the other ones, but let's see what happens. Night Flyer, and we're actually going to change this map out to something that's actually sizable. Let's say... maybe the descriptions are switched, because this one's not... it's bigger than this one that they say is a pretty big one. Let's see. Oh, this is perfect, actually. Now... as long as he doesn't get hit by napalm, this should be perfect.
Test match. Single mode. Stand by.
Problem is his tendency to rely on walking while firing his cannon. That could very well kill him.
Go.
Don't stand still, you fool. And he's toast. He's very likely toast. Oh yeah, and his energy recovery's crap because, well, everything about his build, frankly. Man, that lightweight's pretty brutal. But I think I'm gonna go back and redo part 2, though. Because what would happen if he didn't have that rocket? So that seems to be the one thing that's making the difference right now. Ooh, crap. He's getting rocked right now. Alright, so far that lightweight has absolutely crushed these guys. This guy... actually, no, wait. That guy's got perfect cooling. I was thinking for a sec that this guy had really good cooling. Yeah, no, he's screwed. Pretty well sure he's screwed here. Well, let's see what happens. Actually, let's put this guy in first. Maybe he was off fighting this guy in the background. See if we can bring it down to 1-to-1. Because he's got really high damage output, he's just really crappy on ammo. Got no AP, no ammo to speak of. As long as he hits first, he's alright. He's based off an MT. Alright, and we are roasting already. Okay, he's keeping up. Come on, do those quads, though. That'll do it. Okay, he might be able to win it still. Come on. Just. He just barely missed him that time. The thing is, even with high accuracy, they still can't perfectly aim with the rockets. And that's always been an issue. Alright, so, he managed to solo the guy in the back. Let's see what happens if he takes on the lightweight. If they end up actually getting to the controller. And yeah, I probably should be going for just the team change up, or the AC change option. But, you know, sometimes you just go for the buttons that you know. Alright. Come on, Coldheart. Because yeah, if he ends up getting squished here, I'm gonna go back and redo it. I'm gonna go swap out that napalm rocket real quick. See if that's the thing that really makes the difference. He has a freaking Terminator in the controller agents. So probably overheating yourself off the bat, not a great idea, but at least you're not relying on energy weapons. crap, he might be getting him. Fire, 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 come on. Yes! Alright, well, there you go. Fragile would have gotten absolutely pasted. Appleboy would have probably been okay in the first fight. Not so much in the second one, and yeah. Cold Heart's a friggin' champion of these guys. So yeah, let me know if you have any more weird requests, and I'll make it happen. This was fun.